Hello, I know it's been ages since I've posted a video of any sort. I have been fighting cancer and then subsequently getting my strength back afterwards. So I've been doing artwork, I just haven't been making videos. So what I have for you is this frog. It's a bullfrog. Here is my source photo. It is graciously Eric Hansen is a photographer who allows me to work from his photos. We might be having a collaborative show where we'll show his photo next to my artwork, which I think would be very fun. Here, I'll move this so you can see side by side. As is typical for me, it's never exactly like the original, which makes it fun. This is called Eye on the Fly, and you can tell why. So I need to get my background in. I have chosen to do this, in PanPastel. I know better than to do that. You saw what I just did? I brushed my hand across there, and a couple pieces of pastel dust caused marks. So yeah, you can't be doing that. So this is what I'm doing. Let me clean the background, which is always part of starting my PanPastel. This is 9 by 12. It is on Strathmore. I like the yellow pad, mixed media. It doesn't pill when you get it wet. The frog has been done, the bullfrog has been done in Derwent Inktense. And I used a little bit of Caran d'Ache for the white because it's just hard to get that white on top, and Caran d'Ache luminance white will lay on top. I might have to come in with a little acrylic paint to get that little highlight in his eye there, but we'll see. That may or may not, it may work with the PanPastel. I don't know, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I have paper on my desk. I've gotten to where I work with paper on my desk. One reason is because this is a sewing desk that my dad got my mother when they were engaged, and it is from 1956 or 57. I think he gave it to her for Christmas in 56, and they married that fall, so of 57. So it's very special to me, this desk, and even though the top is scratched and well loved, I don't want to add to that. And the other reason is with PanPastel, you need to clean your tools, sponges. These are soft tools. And then I also use makeup sponges, the good quality ones. I don't like the wedges you buy. I don't like sharp edges, but if you're someone who does abstract or something, those might lend to your style. So I don't wash them after every use. I just have a lot of them and I grab the color that is on them. So that makes things easier. But if I need to clean them off, I can use this. The paper doesn't tear up the sponge where, you can see this one's a little torn. Paper towel, believe it or not, it seems like it would be softer. It is not. It actually tears my sponges. So I don't use paper towel to clean. Now, it might work with the makeup sponges, but it's still, sometimes I'll take a paper towel and just get it around it and just completely get it all off. The makeup sponges. So anyway, so this piece, as you can see, the original, you can see the bokeh. It's a pale, fuzzed out background, but I feel like we need a sunrise here. He's hunting, it's early morning, and he is hungry. So I am going to start by decide where my light is going to be. Kind of thinking I want it lighter over here because it's darker here, and I could get darker here and here with some intense colors because these parts of the frog are dark, are light rather. Sorry, dyslexic here, say the wrong word than what I intend. So I'm gonna grab, these are my PanPastels. If you're not familiar, they come in little pans, and they come, this would be magenta, I think. Magenta. This is magenta tint, shade, extra dark shade. So they come in 4 colors, 4 pans for each base color. And then I have the whole set. There are a total of 40 main colors plus some grays. And then, so these are the ones I've picked out today. I like these little trays. They have lids. You have to purchase that separate. They don't come in the trays. So, I highly recommend them. They are not a cheap thing. They are worth every penny. They are very good. I love them. I've never liked working in pastels. I love these. So, sorry. Gotta have a sip of tea sometimes. Alrighty, so I am going to start. I have a photo because, oh, that's the other thing I need. I need a paper towel because there's going to be times where I have to hold this down. And my fingers are going to be messy. And so you need something that you can hold it down with and not get your hand oils on your artwork. Very important. Get hand oils on there, and then I decide to come back and put something on it. One, it changes your artwork over time. Two, if I decide to come back in with another layer, my oils will pick up more pigment and mess things up. So you always want to protect your piece from that happening. So I am going to start with this orange tint because I'm thinking it's sunrise. So oh, the other good thing about the Derwents, I can go right over this frog and then come back and erase that out because Derwent Inktense are permanent when they're dry. And even when you don't add water, they are, I think I want a little more glow. They are, basically they'll be really hard to erase. They will kind of stain your paper. So I can just turn my sponge for whatever color I'm putting in. So you're seeing up here marks I made for, there's even a little prayer request on here to pray for someone who was having breast cancer surgery on July 11th. And I was working on this piece when I met her in a doctor's office. And so I wrote it on there so I wouldn't forget to pray for her. So I have no way of checking up on her to see how she's doing, but that's okay. God hears my prayers, so it's just fine. Okay, I like this intensity here and then getting softer as it goes out. So I'm gonna kind of work with that a bit. Yes, yes. And then as it moves out, we're going to add in some of these other colors, like a pale purple and a pink. There was already some purple in there from the last time I worked. So that is, I don't want too much purple because, where's my pink guy? It's kind of green. Well, I guess, oh, it's on here. Because the complement of green is red, and I want those pink red tones in here, in this background. So that is where I'm going with this. I'm starting light, but it will get more intense, trust me. If you've seen my work, you know that color is what I do. So, okay. Now I mentioned erasing this out later. You want to make sure you've got I don't necessarily use a brand new eraser, but I make sure it's more clean. I'm gonna come in here. This is the pink, but this is the pink. It's like a pink magenta. So, sorry, I'm whispering. Have to talk to the artwork, right? There we go. I think a little more of this yellow down in here. I just look at it and decide what is needed. I mean, if I go with some circles, I could get a little of that bokeh that he had going. This is where it's going to get darker. Yes. I know you don't think of sunrise as dark colors, but I want some contrast down here. I already have a 9x12 frame chosen for this piece. I love getting my frames at the thrift stores. It ensures that all of my frames are different. I usually pick a frame before I even start a piece because I have an idea in mind of what I'm going to do. In fact, I have a little piece of a poto bird. Look them up. They're hilarious. P-O-T-O-O. Might be Putu or Potu. I really don't know how it's pronounced. My daughter sent me a photo yesterday, and I fell in love with the little guy. He's so goofy. I'll show you the photo. I hope it's not this picture, but isn't that crazy? Oh, my word. He's got one eye dilated bigger than the other. Poor little guy. Looks like he's a little afraid of his life. So, anyway, I'm going to do him next just for fun. And I've also got some bearded dragons. It's going to be a large piece, and I've got it all sketched out. And sometimes, even though I have been doing art for over 50 years, I just turned 59, I still get nervous starting a new piece. Isn't that silly? It's like it takes me a bit. Can't explain it. Cannot explain it. Okay, we're gonna pop a little more yellow. So again, you think of your complements. Yellow and purple are complements. So when there's a little yellow laid in with this, now it could get you brown. So you gotta be careful about it. See how that's getting darker in there? You gotta be careful. But I think I like, again, those round things to mimic that bokeh. In fact, I think I might even, oh no, I don't think I want it in the bright part here. Let me soften that back out. Alrighty, I'm sorry, my voice gets light when I talk to myself. I think this is actually getting close to done. Very happy with it. Not happy with that one little spot. Where did that go? Well, maybe I'm not so unhappy with it as I thought. It actually kind of looks like a bokeh. Yes. And let's put a little white in. Yeah. Yes. Definitely pulling out that bokeh. It's a photography term for the little circles that form when you have your background really, really lightened or fuzzed out, blurred out with your camera. I know I'm not using the right term. I love to shoot photography as well, but that's not my main medium, and the older my camera gets and the more I want to work on other pieces like this, the less photography I do. I tend to photograph the birds around my house, but I will still photograph creatively and occasionally enter a photography show. But I have several photographers who graciously allow me to use their beautiful photos, and I always give them credit. And then very excited to start maybe having several group shows with some photographers, some collaborative pieces. There we go. Kind of like that little spin thing going. But I don't know if I like the location of that. There is some bright bokeh in there though, so I'm gonna leave it. Overlap it with an orange. And then go back in here. There. Oh gosh, yes. Yes, very happy with that. Very happy with that. Now, there is another little thing that I wanted to do. Again, I want this like really dark down in there. Gotta watch because I already put that bokeh in there and I'm gonna mess that up. And I want some more dark over here. There, nice. Now, the last thing I have in mind, I'll clean off my little guy here, is this deep dark red. It's the extra dark shade. I just really want this area over here very dark. Put a little of this rust in there too. And I've got some dark. It was just never getting as dark as I wanted. So if you mix complementary colors, you get a beautiful, deep, deep color. There's a bit of white on that, so that's why I got that white streak through there. So I put some dark green with that burgundy, and now I have this beautiful dark color that isn't black. Oh yes, I like that. I just felt like that needed to be darker. And then let me come up into here with that. And let me put all that in. There we go. Yeah, I like that too. There. I do like this. Transitioning into that other area. Okay. So a little bit of white on this piece. It might be white, it might be the colorless blender, not sure. But I think that's what I'm wanting there. There. Okay. I am very happy with that. Now I don't always know for sure till I look at it through a photograph. However, my hands are quite dirty and I have this eraser here. So I need to get all of the PanPastel off my fingers. And then I need to have a piece of this eraser that is not covered with pastel. So I'm going to pull, I use a small piece because it ruins your kneaded eraser really quickly. So I usually keep a few with my PanPastels that I don't use on some other projects. So again, to keep my hands oils off of this, I am going to now come in, and of course a kneaded eraser. I can get the pieces. I'm going to erase out the color that is on here. Now I could really get aggressive and get out my electric eraser, or I could use like a non-kneaded eraser. I've got, you know, all kinds of different rubber erasers and different things like that. I like knowing the softness of this kneaded eraser is not going to damage the art underneath. But you can see how this is cleaning this up. So I didn't have to worry. See, I have to bend it over. I can make a nice sharp edge. That's why a kneaded eraser is one of your best tools for doing artwork, because you can... Now this piece will get sprayed. I know it is a new trend amongst pastel artists to not use fixative. I talked to a artist at a gallery that I was visiting down in Dauphin Island, and we were looking at her pastel pieces, and I was telling her about these, and she said, do you use a fixative? And I said, yes, actually I do, because quite often I'll put the PanPastel down first and come over it with colored pencil or even these watercolor pencils. And I said the PanPastel leaves such a dust that my colored pencils just don't want to adhere. Notice I'm not leaning on this because I don't want to pull that color up. And so I said, I have to use a fix. And I said, I usually have to use like a a quite strong fixative, like a final fix, not a workable fix. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And I said, but I'm a multimedia artist, so I don't always follow all the rules. I do what I want to do for what I'm doing. Like I have a picture in my head that evolves as I work. And it's not necessarily going to fit within the conforms. Oopsie, I just got more off of there than I intended. I remember I put some color in there. Forgot that that was my plan. Okay. That I'm pretty happy with. I'm going to put just a teensy bit of white in here. Okay. That's quite muddy. I'm not happy with how muddy that is. Eraser to the rescue. Look at that. Comes right off. Here, I'm just going to do this. There we go. That is much more to my liking. There. Actually, that looks pretty good. I like that better than what I did before. Okay, now take a quick look. I am pretty happy, except maybe. I always consider my entire background, even though some of it is going to get covered by the frame, because you might want to sell a print. And if you sell a print, you might need more background than is showing. Like that. I like the little bokehs. I like those. Those are fun. Let's put another one there. Yeah, very much. Very much. I'm just taking this and spinning. That's a lot of fun. Oh, I love this piece. I'm very happy with it. I think, like I said, I'm going to call it Eye on the Fly. And I need to spray it with a final fix. And I need to frame it. I need to photograph it before I frame it. I'll photograph it with my high resolution camera in RAW, and then I will use that as my digital image for making prints. And those, that's the plan. Isn't he cute? Well, thanks for watching, and hopefully my energy will continue to return, and I will do a video on my little Putu bird, or tupu, or I have no idea how you pronounce it, but that's what it is. So I will post something about that as I'm working on it. Thanks for watching.